Are you thinking about publishing to the Kindle Direct Publishing platform and not sure if it's going to be the proper fit for you? Well, in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and take a deeper dive in the Kindle Direct Publishing Explained. Is KDP worth it in 2020? Stay tuned. Hey, I'm Dale L. Roberts, a best-selling author as well as a self-publishing advocate who wants to show you how to publish books that sell. If you want that too, make sure you click the subscribe, ring the bell notification icon, and switch it to all so that way you don't miss a single one of these videos. Stick around to the end because I'm going to discuss why you wouldn't want to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform, and also I'm going to give you a free resource if you happen to be new to this business and to help kind of navigate some of the waters and understand some of these other minute details that I won't quite go over in this video. First of all, what is Kindle Direct Publishing? Well, otherwise known as KDP in the land of self-publishing. This actually started about 2008, and it really started to blossom and grow going into 2013 when we saw a really big boom. It's what a lot of people refer to as the Kindle publishing rush. A lot of people were rushing into it to actually publish ebooks. That was when it was just an ebook publishing platform. You fast forward to today, it actually has ebooks and print books. How does KDP work? Well, you actually have to prepare a lot of your stuff in advance. So don't expect to go to the platform and have them handhold you. So you're actually going to have to write your own content. You're going to have to format it. You're going to need to have your manuscript ready to go. You're going to need ebook cover. You're going to need a print cover. And also you're going to need other things, such as you're going to need to have a formatted manuscript and you're going to need to have your metadata in order. Now, if you hear me say the word metadata, that refers to everything that pretty much describes your publication. That's going to be your title, your subtitle, your book description, any kind of related keywords so it's more discoverable, any type of categories, your author name, and so much more. So let's go ahead and talk about the KDP royalty structure. How much are you going to get paid if you're using this platform? So something I didn't mention before is it's 100% free to use KDP. That's right, I'm not mincing any words, there's no trickery here, it's 100% free, but it does come at a cost because you're not going to get 100% of all royalties. So let's start it out with the ebooks because that's what KDP had originally started with, and you actually get global distribution to over 40 different sales territories. That's just a huge wide array of places that you can reach that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do just on your own. And remember, this is going to the Amazon platform, so that means there's a ready-made audience just coming for content, as opposed if you were to try to fulfill this on your own website without any real following, you're gonna have to drive all that traffic in there. With that being said, that's why their ebook sales royalty structure is a little bit hard to grasp, but stay with me here for just a second. You get to go ahead and set your ebook price, but it's going to be two specific royalty structures. The first one is 35%. Now you get 35% of all sales. Now this is when you are priced outside the sweet spot. I'm going to get to that in just a second here. Now when you have it priced outside of that sweet spot, you do have the 35% royalty, and they will also subtract any kind of applicable regional sales taxes, otherwise known as VAT. Rather than me going through each one of the regions and saying how much VAT is in each one of those, you probably could just go into your dashboard when you go to upload and figure that out on your own. Now here comes the sweet spot, which is the 70% royalty. This is what gets everybody sitting up at attention. Like 70%, that's great. 70 cents out of every dollar you're going to bring home. Now, there's two exceptions. They will take out, again, the applicable regional sales taxes known as VAT, as well as what's called a delivery fee. The delivery cost is roughly 15 cents per megabyte, and they say a minimum of 1 cent is going to be charged for delivery fee. So if you got a really tiny file that it's not even quite up to a fraction of a megabyte, they're still going to go ahead and charge you a 1 cent delivery fee. And that's just in the US. It varies per region. So what exactly is this whole sweet spot I refer to? Now KDP doesn't call it the sweet spot. I just call it that. It's where they want you to price between $2.99 and $9.99. If you're priced outside of $2.99 and $9.99, that's when they push you down to 35%. Why did they do that? Well, chances are likely Amazon did some tests and they discovered that their audiences and their customers are most likely to buy at a $2.99 to $9.99 price point. So that's why they want to reward you for doing that. So just remember that if you want to price your book considerably higher than $9.99, that's going to put you in the 35% royalty range, meaning that you're going to get 35 cents out of every dollar. And if you're within the $2.99 to $9.99, that's 70%. So if we're outside of it and you want to get to a break-even point above $9.99, you're going to actually have to price your book $19.99 to see the same amount you would get priced at $9.99. Crazy, right? So if you were to try to do it $14.99, you're going to end up losing money. You might as well just go ahead and put it back into the sweet spot or jack up the price considerably. That's completely your call, especially if your audience is willing to pay that. Next up is the KDP Select program. Now, this is a very unique program, and it's actually an optional 90-day exclusivity agreement. Now, I said optional. A lot of people think that they have to use it. You don't have to use it. To be clear, that if your ebook is opted in to this 90-day exclusivity agreement for the KDP Select program, this doesn't include your print book. It does not include your audiobook. So don't worry if for some reason you want to put your ebook into KDP Select. This doesn't affect distribution of your print book or your audiobook. You can put those on any platform you wish. But if you do enroll into the KDP Select program, you are agreeing to stay exclusively on Amazon KDP and will not publish in other areas like Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Google Play Books, and so much more. Here's their incentive. Something I didn't mention in the royalty structure was there are some regions that will just give you 35% regardless of you being in the sweet spot. Now, that changes though when you opt into KDP Select, because then you get globally into the 70% region if you're staying within that sweet spot, which can be kind of nice, especially if you say get your book over into Japan where it's normally 35%, but you get into KDP Select, it'll increase it into the 70% region. So this is how the KDP Select program works. It's actually a subscription-based service for the customers. And think of it kind of like a library. And there's two programs they have. One of them is called Kindle Unlimited, and the other one's called Kindle Owners Lending Library. And part of that membership allows them to check out any book that is enrolled in KDP Select. You are then paid by the pages read by the customer. So the more pages they flip through, the more you get paid, and it comes from a subscription-based pool, kind of a global fund. It's actually called the KDP Select Global Fund, and it's done on a monthly basis, and it roughly comes out to a little less than half a cent per page. Recently, I think it was at about $27 million for the month, but you have to think this is dispersed amongst millions of titles that are enrolled in the KDP Select program. Now, here's the really cool thing, is your rank, your Amazon bestseller rank, will be influenced by the checkout. So anytime someone checks out your book, it will increase your Amazon bestseller rank. It's what I call the unfair advantage. And the reason why it's unfair is you don't have to have a single sale and you can be a #1 bestseller. It's just that simple. You can get enough checkouts that can influence your Amazon bestseller rank. It's kind of wonky if you ask me. I talk a little bit more about it in my KDP Select review. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. They also have two unique book promotions in the free book promotion as well as the Kindle Countdown deal. KDP Print Books. Now this came right around about 2016-ish. CreateSpace was still around. It was an Amazon-owned company and eventually ended up merging with KDP Print Books on September of 2018. And it has been since about December of 2018 that CreateSpace completely shuttered, and it's now all KDP Print Books. So we've talked about the ebooks. Now we got to shift over to print books because it's a completely different model. Even though you can publish through the same dashboard, your ebook and your print book, how you're paid is different, how the product is seen is different. So that you don't have any kind of ambiguity on this one. The print books are strictly paperback books, right? They're just paperback. So you're not going to get a hardcover, and you're not going to get a hardcover with a jacket. You're not going to get anything spiral bound. It's just paperback. And they've got glossy and matte finish. They have white and cream colored paper, and they have about 15 trim sizes. You can go anywhere from, say, a 5x8 to an 8.5x11 and a few sizes in between, and if you want to, a custom size, although that does limit your distribution if you do a custom size. So how does the royalty structure work? All right, so here's how it works. They say it's 60% royalty. So supposed to get 60 cents out of every dollar, but you got to subtract print costs because obviously you're not having to pay anything up front. And anytime a customer orders something, there needs to be print costs. In other words, it's going to cost Amazon money to run it through a printer and get it all done. So the print costs are subtracted. And also, the number of pages will influence how much those print costs are. And I think it's 108 pages or less, regardless of the trim size, will be a static amount. Once you go beyond that, it's about 1 cent to 2 cents per page added to that. So you're going to want to make sure you're pricing your book accordingly so you at least make some type of a profit. So if you have some type of a thick novel of 800 pages, then chances are likely that you're not going to make very much. Generally speaking, I see about 35% to 50% royalty for each sale of the print books. Now this is based on how many pages again and what I put the pricing at, so it's going to vary. So if I've got a smaller book that I've priced a little bit higher, then my percentage is obviously going to look a little higher. Distribution goes out to 9 different regions, and this includes the US, UK, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, Japan, Canada, and Australia, and it trickles down into some smaller regions that actually feed out from these larger ones. The next option they have is something that's called expanded distribution. Now, this one used to be kind of an X factor. If you were to call and get a hold of someone over the KDP print team, sometimes they're like, I don't know who does it. They don't know. We just tick this box and it goes out to thousands of different online distributors. And I did some digging and I came to find out actually the people that are fulfilling the expanded distribution are kind of a middleman for Amazon KDP, and they're actually called Ingram Content Group, and more popularly known by their other offshoots of Ingram Spark and Lightning Source. So they send out your book to tens of thousands of different online retailers, including places like Walmart and Target. So if you've ever wanted to get yourself listed on Walmart.com, then just go ahead and select expanded distribution. Now keep in mind that the royalty rate is significantly less. I believe it's right about 45%. I'll put something on the screen if I'm wrong. And that is going to subtract the print costs as well. Remember, the page count's going to influence that too. Marketing and promotion. Okay, so I talked about KDP Select actually having some promotional features in it in the free book promotions as well as the Kindle Countdown deal. Now, when you utilize those two specific avenues, might I recommend that you don't just fire off these promotions. You're going to want to do some type of email marketing, social media marketing, any type of getting out and promoting it beyond just trying to fire it off and expect the best. There used to be a day when you could fire off a Kindle book promotion, be it through the free version or Kindle Countdown deal, and you would just, see a ton of downloads and see it influence the direction of your book after the promotion. But those days are gone. There's just a ton. There's a lot, millions of ebooks being uploaded every day to KDP. So you're not going to get very much traction, and don't expect Amazon to go ahead and promote this for you. It is on you to promote the promotion. And also a very fun little thing, actually, it's called Amazon Advertising, which integrates with Kindle Direct Publishing. It is a pay-to-play world here, folks. There used to be a point you could put up something and just rain down money. But those days are gone. You're going to actually have to invest in things. And Amazon advertising is pretty interesting. If you've ever used Google or Facebook ads or YouTube ads, it's nothing like those. It's way easier right now, and it is actually probably the easiest and cheapest way to market your books. But understanding it, it's a little bit more complex, especially if you're new to marketing. What I would recommend is if you use Amazon advertising, don't invest money that you aren't willing to lose at first. So if you start to use Amazon advertising by way of KDP, then go into it slowly. Start out with low cost per click as well as a low budget per day. When I mean low budget, we're talking like 10 to as low as $1 per day with a cost per click of 10 to 15 cents. This is a way for you to kind of understand the platform better and get to know exactly how it functions rather than going onto it, putting $1,000 per day budget on something and a cost per click of $1. It's not going to get you anywhere than a little bit of heartache and an empty bank account. So is Kindle Direct Publishing worth it in 2020? Well, look, it's free to use, it's got wide reach, and has a decent royalty structure. And folks, it's good for newbies. If you are new to this business, give it a shot. Just try at least one publication. Now, I just want to let you know it's not for everyone. If you already have a following, like a good friend of mine, Ashley Christ, she didn't have to use the platform because she already had the following and she went ahead, self-fulfilled everything, and she was able to collect all of the profits, not have to worry about going through there. Did she get as wide as a reach as she would on through Amazon? No, but she knew her needs and she just wanted to fulfill that through her audience. So I want you to think to yourself, do I want the wide reach? Okay, great. Do you already have the following? If you don't, then you might want to consider going over to Amazon KDP. Would you like to learn how to break ground in self-publishing through Amazon KDP? I've got good news for you. I've actually put together the DIY publishing course for beginners. You can take a look at it down over there and visit there. It's 100% free, and you actually can learn all the very basics of how to self-publish through Amazon KDP. And also, while we're talking about it, I told you about KDP Select program. Is it really worth it in 2020? I talk in depth about it. Go visit this next video. I'll see you there. What are you waiting for? Click it.